Thanks. First question, a book by my colleague Larry Sabato at the University of Virginia, some of you might know, called A More Perfect Constitution, 23 proposals to revitalize our Constitution and make America a fair country. He spells out all of Professor Tribe's questions, and first of all, those are just important food for thought. But he also talks about some of these institutional questions that we're raising beyond specific public policy issues.
Yeah, brief.
Let me just say a word about that. First, I think it's not correct to think that there aren't a lot of people who are studying state constitutions. It's a burgeoning, almost cottage industry at Harvard, Yale, Chicago, Virginia, Stanford, Duke, a lot of places. Secondly, I do think there are lessons to be learned, but there are different lessons. The states as laboratories teach us lots of different things, but they don't give us answers in the national, quite different context where we have considerations of federalism that you don't have with an internal state convention, and where the issues of scope are just totally different. So they're suggestive of some options, but I don't think they help us resolve the unanswered questions.
Okay, to the left.
My name is Anthony Hawks. I'm a practicing attorney in Washington, D.C. They also trouble me because they remind me of Robert Bork's famous comparison of the Ninth Amendment to an ink blot. The idea being that you can't enforce or apply a provision because you can't possibly know what it means. What we discovered over the last 30 years, though, is a great deal of legal scholarship. We know a lot about the Ninth Amendment now, and I think Mr. Dranius would concur. We know a lot more about the Article 5 Amendment, Article 5 provision. So my question to Professor Tribe is, did you think Article 5 was an ink blot 30 years ago? And do you still think, and if so, do you still think that's the case in light of all the scholarship that has taken place?
I've never thought that the provision of Article 5 for a new convention should be disregarded the way Robert Bork thought the Ninth Amendment should be. In that sense, I've never thought either of them was an ink blot. Remember, it was his position that because nobody knows what the unenumerated rights of Americans are, that they have none. And I've always thought that the whole point of the Ninth Amendment was that we have all kinds of rights that were never written down. And I profoundly objected to the idea that the Constitution's interpretation would be entrusted to someone who thought that we have no rights except those that are expressly enumerated. I would also object very much to someone who said that because I don't know the answers to all of the questions about an